You ever been in a grocery store and you see someone in the middle of the aisle and they park their cart in the middle of the aisle and they have no idea and no awareness that anyone around them exists? They're like standing there looking at cereal, blocking the entire aisle. It's kind of like they don't know anyone else in the world exists. It's like they don't know where they are. And for a while, I've just been paying attention, observing people constantly, and I realized something very scary. A lot of people aren't conscious. And I think growing up, I thought everybody was like me, and I was wrong. Because, see, I used to think that everybody wanted to become better. I used to think if people hurt others, once they realized it, they would change. I thought people examined themselves. I thought people sat with their thoughts. I thought everybody questioned their own behavior. I was very wrong. I did all those things. I thought we were all humans and we were somewhat similar in that regard, that we might, look at ourselves and wonder why we do things. I don't know. I was just really curious. And I just thought that everybody was like me. See, the thing that I've come to realize is I'm a really curious person. And I think about my own thoughts. I think about why I do things, why things exist. Is what I'm saying really honest? Is what I'm seeing really honest? It's kind of like I watch life, and the behavior of people, to me, when I'm looking at them, comes with subtitles, captions and subtitles. It's like I can see what they do, but it comes with an explanation in real time. So though I see them do something, there's like an explanation and a meaning behind what they're doing. Like kind of like reading between the lines. And I watch that. I constantly watch people's behavior because people are constantly telling on themselves, and they're constantly telling you who they are, not with what they say, but with patterns. Like you watch how they behave and you're like, that's interesting. Like, why do they do that? With reactions, with what triggers them, with what they defend, with what they hold dear to them. When they're confronted with truth, what do? Do they try to defend the lie, or do they embrace the truth? These are things that confuse me. How do they move when confronted with the truth? How do they move when nobody's watching? Do they ever self-correct? I notice that when I see people who are really obsessed with certain fandoms, like you'll notice it with like LeBron fans or Drake fans. I noticed that in those fan bases, these are just examples, but in those fan bases, when you present facts to these people, showing them how their favorite hero came up short, they find a way to twist the narrative in that person's favor, even if their hero, that celebrity, is in the wrong. And to me, that was weird, because if my heroes failed, I would own that. Like, why do I need to defend their honor? If it's justified, the thing that you're calling them out for, let's agree. I don't need to go, oh my gosh, you're coming for my favorite guy. You're just a hater. Like, that's weird. Like, if he did something wrong, why can't we all just be like, oh yeah, that was wrong? But you sit there and have to make what they did wrong into something good, into a positive thing. And that's weird to me. Why would you need to do that? It's not even about being biased. It's just weird. And I see that on social media all the time. That's why I love debates, is I love when people are picking apart something that is like a frame of like thought that doesn't stand on its own. Where, when we believe something, when we collectively have believed the narrative, maybe we were taught it in school. Maybe they were like, it's kind of like when we were kids and they told us milk does the body good, only for us to come and find out later that milk's not that great for us and dairy's not that great for us. You start questioning things. You start looking into things a little bit deeper. And you don't always accept things at face value. Or at least I don't always. We live in a time where social media gets to expose human psychology at a large scale. We get to see in real time the behavior of humans. It's awesome. Like, we see the best of humans, we see the worst of humans on social media. And we get to see how people act. We get to see how people are confronted with certain situations People get exposed, people tell the truth, people get done wrong, and we see we see the human condition at scale. It's really interesting. That's how I watch social media. I don't just always take social media into account as like just random entertainment. I do have like some burner accounts that I just watch stuff on that are just like funny, stupid videos that are like pranks or like funny videos. But for the most part, I am watching when someone speaks on something, when they're passionate about something, they're trying to make a point, or they're trying to bring down a group of people, or they're trying to enlighten a group of people. What are they pushing for? Are they biased? Or like where does this logic stand up? You know, are they hiding something? Are they saying this because they're projecting? I'm always looking at that, because sometimes you just got to look at the person who's talking and go, do they have some sort of agenda to be saying this? What's the motive? You know, that's how I watch it. And I just watch it to learn. I watch it because I just love learning about humans. I love learning about how we act. You know, social media exposed humanity. Before, like, one of the things I love is like before the internet, toxic humans got to hide. Like, you would only know that they were toxic either you heard through the grapevine, or you'd have to come in close contact and get burned by them. But now people document their bad behavior. They document their narcissism. You get to see people say me all day. Just self-absorbed, self-centered, never take accountability. It's crazy. You literally get to see their insecurity. You get to see their envy. You get to see people tear people down, but for reasons because of jealousy, or you get to call people out for their bad behavior. It's awesome. It's like a study. I take social media as a study. I'm just watching what people do. I'm watching how they act. I'm watching the thoughts that they think. I'm watching humans miss the point. It's interesting when you see someone just like be completely oblivious to the thing that they're complaining about and the answer to their problem. Like, they're like, sometimes they're clearly the problem and they just fail to see it, and you can see it while you watch them talk in the video. It's absolutely insane. It's one of the coolest things. It's mind-boggling to me. Just like it's mind-boggling to see people defend terrible behavior if their group identity depends on it. I can't stand that. It's just the weirdest thing to me. I just don't feel that need to do that. You know, the information age has made red flags so visible, so easy to see. You know, I think what it comes down to is we have a world full of NPCs, not people that are beneath those who are more aware and more self-aware, but people who never leave autopilot. When I say NPC, I'm not saying people who don't matter. I'm saying some people never develop metacognition. It's something that I learned a while back where I didn't know why I thought the way I thought. Like, I would always think about my ideas, and I'd always question my thoughts in real time. Like, I wouldn't just accept something that came into my mind. I'd be like, is that true? Do I really mean that? Is this really what I mean? Am I telling the truth? Am I being honest with myself? Am I? And I'd always question myself. I would never just always assume my own thoughts were what I should agree with. And when you have metacognition, you're constantly thinking about your own thinking. You're validating your thoughts for quality control. And I didn't realize that's a muscle you can flex. And a lot of people don't exercise it. They never observe themselves observing. And it sounds like maybe some conspiracy theory, some woo-woo crazy stuff, but for me, it's way more simpler than that. It's kind of like people who are conscious and people who are unconscious. And you're coming into people who are just completely oblivious. The person in the middle of the aisle who just doesn't know where they are. Like that's a very simple thing where you go, that person is in the middle of the aisle. Do they know that they're in the middle aisle and they're blocking everyone? How do they not see this? Whereas in my head, I know when I'm blocking the aisle. I can see someone who's going to need to get by me before they need to get by me. I'm aware of others. I'm aware of where I am in the world and how I affect other people. And when I see people who don't notice that, that's weird to me. I notice their lack of self-awareness, and it boggles my mind. I go, whoa, they can't see that. Wow, there's people that can't see that. Oh, okay, they must live in a completely different reality than me. Wow. I don't look down, I just go, wow, interesting. These are the type of people that never question their programming. They inherit their own opinions. They inherit identities. They're easily brought into cults. They blindly follow the blind. They regurgitate what other people say. But when you press on what they believe, it all falls apart. And they'll do anything to defend their position, even if they look crazy. They can't just concede the point. If someone gets me on a good point, I'll concede the point because you're teaching me something. If I believe that you can beat me on a point, okay, cool, do it. Teach me something I didn't know. All right, cool, we can agree on that. It's not that painful to admit you're wrong. If you are here to learn on this planet, it's not that painful to admit that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. I like to make it feel fun. Be like, when I say something and then someone like instantly corrects me and they're like, that's not true. I'm like, just kidding. Like, it's fun. Like to be like, just kidding. Like, okay, cool. Like, I was wrong. Thank you for enlightening me. Look at my level of self-awareness to know, okay, I don't need to strong arm you to prove to you that you're wrong. If you bring me closer to the truth and closer to understanding, I'm actually thankful for that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's where I come to this theory that the main characters are not necessarily better than NPCs or people who lack self-awareness. It's main characters aren't perfect. It's not like this thing of like thinking you're better than other people. It's more like main characters self-reflect. They adapt. They admit when they're wrong. They study themselves. They evolve. They don't need the group to validate every thought that they have. Maybe it's because I'm an Enneagram 4 and I have always liked being a little bit different, a little bit out in left field. Not so weird that no one can relate to me, but not so basic that I just go along with everything. That's kind of like where I sit. I like broad culture, but I also like abstract things. I just like being introduced to things. I'm a very curious person, and I like to evolve. I am not the same person I was 5 years ago. I change, I grow, and I love it. You know, I change my hair all the time. Like you're seeing this fro, like with the drop fade or whatever. But I had locks for about 5 years and all different hairstyles. I just like to change. The locks will be coming back pretty soon. We're almost there. A strong line would be that I think about is an NPC protects their identity. A main character examines their identity. The low awareness NPCs, they move through life like they're alone in the middle of the grocery aisle. No awareness of how they affect other people. No awareness of how they take up space emotionally. No awareness that people are trying to move around them. It's mind-boggling. Next time you're in a grocery store, just look. How long does it take for someone to notice that they're blocking everyone? It's interesting to watch. And then, most people hear what people say or they watch the behavior, but if you're a person who's more self-aware, you see life with subtitles. It comes with the extra meaning. It's almost like the director gave you the director's cut and explained to you what this person is doing in real time or what they're gonna do. And for me personally, I'm at the point where I can predict people's behavior. I go, this person's gonna ask this or they feel this. Not in an assumption, but I'm like very attuned to emotional shifts, energy shifts, how people change, what they're doing, what they're protecting, deception, manipulation, all these things, certain things that don't sound right. People that are toxic, you got to walk around on eggshells around them. This type of deal. I watch them very carefully. NPCs also don't care about how they affect other people in negative ways. kind of like a narcissist. They don't care. You're just a tool. And watching narcissists for my entire existence, it got me to think that there's dumb NPCs, and then there's people who are highly manipulative but will never change. And they're on autopilot for how they affect other people. They kind of bleed on other people and don't care that they bleed on other people. And it's interesting, like when you're a person who sees life with captions and subtitles and commentary and closed captioned text, the hidden meanings, you usually get bled on by other people and you're just aware. It's almost like you're like, how could they not see this? It's crazy. But then you think about it and you're like, oh, their level of awareness is so low, of course they wouldn't see this. How could I expect more out of them? But then really it's tough, because the more aware you are, the more it gets lonely. Because once you start seeing patterns clearly, you can't unsee them. I can't unsee the things that I've learned about behavior. I can't unsee what I've learned about how I operate with everyone. It's almost makes you so aware where you just can't walk around blindly. It's actually kind of overwhelming at times. Sometimes it's just tough to realize some people generally do not reflect. They just parrot thoughts. Some people repeat destruction forever. Some people only change when consequences force them to, or when they get penalized hard enough. But when you realize that, you stop taking everyone's opinion so personally. And that's free. I would like to take a lot of opinions a lot less personally. But then it's kind of like when you go back and forth on social media with somebody and you're arguing and you're like, oh, I'm arguing with a fool. No wonder this conversation's going this way. They're a fool. They're literally a fool. It's like that line from Jay-Z's diss to Nas Takeover where he was like, a wise man said, don't argue with fools. Because from a distance, most people can't tell who is who. And when you do get in a debate with someone who has lower self-awareness, you start to realize it's a lot harder to argue with somebody who has no awareness. It's crazy. It's like it doesn't go anywhere because they can't see what you're seeing. They play by different rules. When you think about being more self-aware, it's less about are other people NPCs. It's more like the scarier question is, where are you conscious? Where are you self-aware? Where are you operating automatically or on autopilot? Where do you avoid self-reflection? Because the goal isn't, to think that you're better than other people. It's to be more self-aware, to understand where you are in the world, who you are, and how you affect others. That's powerful. I'm thinking about how weird it is to me that I see this way. It's one of the things that's, when I was younger, I didn't see it fully, but now I study human behavior every day in like the most mundane situations, but it's just really interesting to me how some people behave. It doesn't matter what generation you're from, but I'm just watching. And the subtitles that I see, the captions that I see when someone does something, is just so interesting to me. And when I'm right about someone's behavior, I'm like, wow, I see this thing in 4D. This is crazy. But yeah, sometimes when you see life deeper, you just can't unsee it. So I'm just going on this journey in life and seeing what I can see and sharing what I see as I take every step that I take every single day. So appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.